Good morning, Dr. Gerson.
Good morning, Larry. How are you?
I'm great. It's great to see you.
Good. It's always nice to see you.
Thanks for joining in on this podcast of an important topic that I like to
Yes,
discuss. So today
no
we're going to
problem.
talk about Dinacharya, which is a Sanskrit word. I won't use any more Sanskrit, hopefully, not too much more. It's a Sanskrit word from Ayurveda, which means your daily routine. And it is a very important part of Ayurvedic healing on multiple levels. Um, and because and especially because this time of year, we're recording this in the wintertime, is when vata is stronger, when we have more bounce in our heads, there's more movement in our bodies because of the um, air and space elements. We want to ground down a little bit, and routine really begins to help with vata, helps us ground down, helps us sleep better. It's so important to um, to follow this. And um,
Yes.
it's in Ayurveda, it's all about circadian rhythms are so important to healing. So one of the most important things, and I'm going to talk about things that I hope everybody can adhere to. I'm not saying I'm an angel with this. I try my best. I do a lot of this stuff, but Ayurveda tells you, of course, to get up with sunrise and to go to sleep with sunset. And that's not completely possible in a lot of social situations or what we do. So we all just try to do our best. But
I was going to say, I'm really excited to learn about this because, I tell my patients too, with their diet and with their exercise and their sleep habits, we're creatures of routine. So, you know, the more you can make it part of your schedule, the easier it can become. And so I think that's really important, to have a schedule. And, I even put my kids on sleep schedules and routines and everything. And I'm all about it. So I'm very excited to learn about this.
well, I'm not the best sleeper, but I find if I can try to get to bed by 10 o'clock and wake up 6 or 7, I definitely sleep better. So I mean, last night I wanted to stay up and I wanted to watch Joe Biden's. I'm usually staying up late to watch sports, but
Yeah.
that's especially it's horrible when we have West Coast sports. Um,
Yeah.
but I stayed up last night because I thought Joe Biden did a very honest interview with Lawrence O'Donnell on MSNBC. I wanted to watch it. I don't know if you have a chance to watch it, but
I
so that
haven't. I
was
was up
over till
reading last
11.
night. Got it.
It was great, and then I didn't sleep as well as I usually do. But
Yeah.
anyway, we want to wake up early, um, maybe even before the sunrise, and do some little light meditation before we get out of bed, make an offering to the universe and any type of spiritual level that you follow before getting out of bed. And once we're out of bed, um, we want to drink a glass of water as soon as we get up, a room temperature water. And we suggest to ideally drink water that's been kept in a copper cup overnight. And copper begins to cleanse the water. And a lot of people are having problems waking up in the morning and moving their bowels. So
Hmm.
if you soak water, any dried fruit, water, raisin, figs, prunes in the water overnight, and then drink the water and even eat the dried fruit, um, it'll help stimulate your bowel movements. And another thing that's really good for the yogis out there, it's a great time to do Agnisara or Nali Kriya. So Agnisara is when um, you bend over, put your hands on your knees, take your belly button into your spine, and then take your everything, just bring it up and begin to pump your insides. So it begins to bring on the feeling of having to go to the bathroom.
Hmm.
Um, and you could Google that. if you Google Agnisar, there's a couple of YouTube videos that are pretty descriptive. And next, kind of common sense, wake up, splash your face with cold water, rinse your mouth, wash your eyes, massage the eyelids by rubbing them gently, and exercise them. Maybe do some eye exercises in all directions. So look up, look, and you've all done that. I look to the left, look to the right, look down. And then hopefully you'll be able to go to the bathroom by this point, because complete elimination in the morning is a sign of good digestion.
Good. Yeah.
People struggle with that.
I was going to say, maybe you won't be surprised, but that's one of my biggest complaints that I see here in the office is, constipation, only going to the bathroom once a week, twice a week, or even less than that. So, I do tell my patients, I've learned a lot from you. And so this is it does work.
That totally freaks me out when clients come in and say that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so I try, there's other things we could do, but this helps.
Yeah.
The dried, the wet, drinking the water that's with the dried fruit soaked overnight,
yeah,
and eating the dried fruit. And of course, we add in a little bit of triphala. It's a good, non-addictive, mild laxative. Helps with that.
Yeah. And I also say, I find that people are always in a hurry. And I say you got to find the time and relax and, at least sit for a little. And, I don't want you sitting for a long term, but in the beginning, you just got to make the time for it too. I think people are always on the go and they're feel like they don't have time to go to the bathroom.
You got to get to work.
Yeah, exactly. So I say, make the time, do what you say and make the time.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
It's a really good point. You do have to relax. And
yeah.
So hopefully everybody's going to go to the bathroom, and the next in an Ayurvedic Dinacharya, wash your hands with warm water, and you're going to scrape your tongue. So here's a tongue scraper. You can buy them on Banyan Botanical. I think you can, and if you don't have one of these, you could use a spoon.
Okay.
But Ayurveda says that this is more important than even brushing your teeth. And it gives you nice breath, because if you don't do this, you're going to be shocked with how much gunk shows up that's on your tongue. And a lot of people brush their tongues, which is good, but what brushing your tongue does is it pushes you're reabsorbing the crud that your body is trying to get out. And what comes off in your tongue scraper, some people like to
oh God.
but it's different colors too. So it could be a little more pink. That means your pitta is a little bit higher. Or vata, kapha has more of a white color to it. Vata is a little grayer. So you could, it's things to, if you want to try to be aware of that. And
great.
Brush your teeth with a good toothbrush, a good soft toothbrush. And if you want to, like I said, I try to do as many of these things. I'm going to put it all out there because depends how much time you have in the morning, but you can gargle with a little warm water, salt, and turmeric. Because the turmeric really helps kill germs.
Awesome.
So next, and a lot of people really don't like to do this, but to me, it feels like I went swimming, is neti pot. I brought props this morning. Good, right?
I like it. That's an official neti pot. My blue plastic one, doesn't compare.
Yeah, this is a nice one. It's I think it's from Himalayan Institute.
Very nice.
Makes these. And here's some Himalayan sea salt.
Okay.
So you can buy these with on Amazon or anywhere you like to buy your stuff. And it says it's 99% pure non-iodized salt, no additives or anti-caking agents, pharmaceutical grade. So it comes with a little spoon to measure it. You put the salt in warm water. You want to make the water kind of close to 98 degrees so it's comfortable in your body.
Mm-hmm.
You try to find water that's clean. And you don't have to go down, go to your stove and boil the water. I mean, some people do, but maybe you have a water cooler or something in your house that heats the water. That's clean water.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I've never used tap water, but people always scare me and saying you're going to get
Nigeria Fallery.
you're going to get a
Yeah.
brain worm like somebody
Yeah.
else that we
Yeah.
know about.
I've heard that too. I've never seen it, but I've heard it,
Well, I don't want to
But
say
I
who
will
I don't
say,
want to say who I'm thinking about. I don't want to make this political.
that's funny. I will say I've done tap water too. It's very satisfying what comes out.
Yeah, you just you use your finger, mix up the warm water, turn your head on the side so it's completely horizontal, and just pour it through, and it's a beautiful thing. It's just going to come out of your other nostril, and
Mm-hmm.
then do both sides. Try to, and this is amazing for something else too. If you have a pranayama practice, and you want to, breath is the prana,
Mm-hmm.
and we just want to breathe in comfortably on both nostrils. So it makes your pranayama practice better when your sinuses are clear. You're just absorbing better air, and we always encourage everybody only to breathe through their nose.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good, especially this time of year. And I think, I don't know, I think some people say that the salt doesn't really take away any type of germs, but I don't know. It seems to keep me healthier in the wintertime and all the time. And then
Yeah.
this isn't really in an Ayurvedic protocol, but you can swab your nostrils with a little bit of sesame oil, just so they don't dry out. Or if you
Oh,
want to,
okay.
there's something in Ayurveda called nausea, which are herbal nose drops. And there's a lot of different ones. You probably want to talk to a practitioner to see what would be the best for you. But you can
Yeah.
put nose drops in, and it goes right, crosses the blood-brain barrier pretty easily with very nice herbal things.
Mm.
And I'm blanking on the one that I use all the time. But I think it's a nice practice. And plus, if your nose gets a little dried out in the wintertime,
Yeah.
to keep it oiled. So that's, we're moving down, and there's something called abhyanga, which means self-massage. So the next part of an Ayurvedic routine, you take an oil for your body type. So in the summertime, if you have more pitta, you want to use a more cooling oil, like coconut oil. In the wintertime, sesame oil is better for warming your body. And even though, you can even take it to, if you're more kapha, you can even use some type of mustard oil. And there's a ton of videos for this too that are available. But basically, you want to massage your joints and then rub, in the direction of the hair on your body, rub your whole body. And if you have time, if you're going to wash your hair that day, rub the oil in your hair, rub it all over your face. And it opens up the pores, it softens the skin, removes waste, helps joints and muscles move more freely. It's a nice practice. And if you're a little bit wired, it just feels so grounding and good. And you're giving yourself a little bit of love.
Sounds wonderful. Sounds
It's
amazing.
awesome. I mean, and
Yeah.
maybe you have the time to find a practitioner who could do a full 1 hour abhyanga as a treat one day. I think some spas offer that. And
Yeah, we got to look around here. You got to let me know if anyone does it here.
oh, I think you told me you just did an abhyanga, right?
In Florida.
In vacation, yeah.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
I mean, we used to do it when we had the clinic on before COVID. We just haven't gotten back to it.
Got it.
So the next step would be to begin to do your yoga practice. and your meditation practice and your pranayama practice. So whatever route or any, just exercise, whatever exercise you try to do before you go to work in the morning.
And how long is this practice supposed to be?
That's up to you, how much time you have. I mean, I think you can get a lot of asana in half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I
Okay.
know that you like to do an Ashtanga practice, which takes, if you're doing full primary, it's an hour and a half. Not everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you start it early enough, of course you can. But
Yeah.
any type of movement, I think movement is, you agree with me. I think that movement is so important
Mhm. So
to keeping the
important.
body healthy.
So important.
I mean,
We
even,
see, yeah. No, I was gonna say we see studies with the centenarians who, people who live into the hundreds and really they just move, they don't get into cars to go to the grocery store. They walk to the grocery store, they do a lot more just movement. So I agree.
and so that's an important part. And, I'm a big proponent of pranayama practice.
Hmm.
And I try personally to, I probably do a 15 or 20-minute pranayama practice. I'm not saying everybody should do that. I try to meditate for 15 or 20 minutes in the morning. And I become so I don't want to say addicted, but I don't feel good if I don't sit for 15 or 20 minutes.
That's great.
I mean, I think it's so I love it. I really look forward to it. When I first started, I hated it. I, I can't do it. I mean, it's years ago, but
That's great.
and
Good.
then
So I'll get there too. Keep
it
doing
it
it.
it becomes like a special, really special time for me.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Um, and then you can take a bath or take a shower before you go to work because you're gonna have to if you're exercising or um, and we encourage people to avoid harsh soaps and no antiperspirants or deodorants with any type of aluminum because that definitely increases vata. Um, and if you enjoy using essential oils, it's a good time to you could use essential oils. Um, Also, before I forget, you should not cook with aluminum pots and pans either. We really don't want
Mm,
aluminum in our body.
right. I think I
Um,
recently switched all my pots and pans, you know, hearing all the microplastics and the aluminum, you can kind of go down the rabbit hole, but you do what you can.
yeah, you do what you can. I mean,
Yeah.
every little bit helps. And like I said,
Hmm.
we took a while, but we little by little got rid of any type of, um, we don't have any aluminum pots and pans anymore. I mean, once in a
Yeah.
while, Debbie was making muffins the other day and she was using an aluminum muffin pan. It's not, because
Right.
it's what she had in the house. And,
Right.
but I think we've learned that aluminum isn't great to absorb into our body. And of course, the
Right.
microplastic stuff. And
Hmm.
I think that's a bad.
It's hard to avoid. It's hard to
Yeah.
avoid, but yeah, you do what you can.
And then um, have breakfast. And we encourage, and I'm not trying to say you have to be a vegetarian, but Ayurveda says to eat a light breakfast, avoiding eggs, meat, cold milk, even yogurt and pastries. Um, oh, I'm sorry, eat a light breakfast of, you can have yogurt and pastries, but try to avoid eggs and meat. And drink a warm, spicy tea with a little bit of honey is really
I
nice.
did that this morning. I had my
As I'm
yogurt
drinking my
and my
coffee.
tea. Oh, that's funny. I had my green tea with what was in it? I don't know. Ginger. Oh, ginger and honey this morning. Ginger, lemon, and honey.
And not to go up to, and Ayurveda encourages you not to cook your honey, that to try to use raw honey and don't boil it because if what we're taught is if you boil the honey, it becomes kind of a sticky, dead substance.
Makes sense.
And then lunch should be your biggest meal of the day
Hmm.
because it's when your digestion is at a peak. And Eat a balanced meal of whole grains, cooked vegetables, beans, salad, um, mild spices for your body type. Try to avoid drinking
Sounds great.
anything cold because
Sounds
cold
great.
just locks down your digestion, sends it the wrong way.
Yeah.
And um, warm tea, warm herbal tea is great. And if you're if you have time, it's luxurious. Rest for 30 minutes after you eat. Rest on your left side.
Oh, I would love that. So love
The
that.
Europeans got it.
I know they do. Those siestas.
Yeah, big, long, beautiful lunch, and then
Yeah.
um,
A small
dinner.
dinner. Yeah.
Dinner is the same kind of foods, and you try to avoid too much fried food and cooked cheese.
Hmm.
And dinner should be a little lighter. So dinner is like 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 supper, like a soup. Um,
Yeah.
and if you can, take a walk after dinner. It's a beautiful practice. And
If only it wasn't 15 degrees, I would do that.
well, yeah, right. I know it's a rough week. Did you get snow last night?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Yeah,
I was charging my car and I woke up. It's like I had to preheat the car because it was frozen. Um,
exactly.
and if you're having a problem sleeping, um, a little bit of raw milk, if you can get it, or any type of milk, and almond milk or any type of milk substance with a little bit of turmeric in it is nice. And something else that really could help with sleeping is a little bit of nutmeg can really help you
Okay.
sleep. And relax and do a little meditation before sleep, and you'd be good to go. So
That
that's the
sounds like
Ayurvedic routine.
that sounds like a day that people spend thousands of dollars for to go to a spa and have them do that for them. It's like
Yeah.
if only we could do that in real life. That's, you got to try. You got to, like you said, routine, routine, routine. It's hard to get into that routine, but once you do, it's going to be easier.
I mean, you try your best. I'd feel really weird if I couldn't scrape my tongue in the morning.
Yeah.
That's been in
I'll
my
have to try
routine.
that. I will try that. I have not done
Yeah,
that.
definitely try that.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you can use a spoon too, you could just scrape it off. You're going to be a little bit shocked
Yeah.
with what comes off your tongue, no matter how clean you eat. And if
Interesting.
you and so the stuff that comes off of your tongue, Ayurveda has something called like a toxic substance they call ama, which is this gunk that begins to line our colon and get in our body and hurts. It stops digestion. It's just we don't want it.
Hmm.
So there's ama in what's coming out through your tongue. And if you're really eating perfectly, sometimes you won't have anything you can scrape off your tongue.
Oh,
I've
pretty
never
good.
gotten to that point, but
That's funny. You got to go to one of these retreat places so they can, like, give you all of that.
yeah. So
Oh,
that's basically it. I mean, that's what I thought would be a good topic to talk about today.
I mean, I think whether you want to, practice anything in Ayurveda or not, that's like a really good routine to follow regardless, for health benefits and reasons. Like, sounds awesome.
Well, I'm glad you could listen. I'm glad you support this. I'm glad
Definitely.
we're doing our podcast.
Definitely.
And thanks, everybody, if you tune in and listen. This is probably a little more fun than the dementia one we did last.
And we'll have to, think of the next topic for the next one.
Yeah, we'll pick a next topic.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm going to turn off the recording.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.